We'll start this morning calling this is Baxter County criminal case CR 2017-268, State of Arkansas versus Ryan Anderson. This matter is Mr. Anderson, you've made application to the Public Defender's Office, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Court's going to make the appointment of the Public Defender's Office to represent Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson's for arraignment on charges of domestic battery in the second degree, aggravating circumstances, a Class B felony, and interference with emergency communication in the first degree, Class A misdemeanor. On those charges, how do you now plead?
Your Honor, he enters a plea of not guilty to all charges.
Okay, that plea is noted on the record. He's on the Division 4 docket of this court. Let me go up here. This matter will be is being set by scheduling order for a review of the status of the case on October 19th. That's your next appearance in court, is October 19th. After that, we'll have a pretrial hearing scheduled for November 16th, 2017, and then a jury trial scheduled for January 29th, 2018, with a plea and arraignment date, a plea deadline date of January 18th. That'll be the schedule on Mr. Anderson. Now, are there any issues of bond?
Your Honor, I believe that the state and defense have agreed that his bond would now be set at $5,000 cash or pro, with the understanding, and he visited with me about this at the jail this morning, the state is not willing at this time to, there is a no contact order, the state is not willing to dismiss the no contact order. So his bond is reduced to $5,000 pursuant to your approval, Judge, with the understanding that the no contact order will stay in place.
That's correct, Your Honor. And the alleged victim that matters is Joey Lewin. Oh, I'm saying that correctly, Lewin.
All right. That'll be the order of the court. Bond will be set at $5,000 cash or pro. There'll be in place at this time a no contact order with respect to the alleged victim in the matter. Anything else to come before the court?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your
All
Honor.
right. Mr. Anderson, your next appearance in court right now is scheduled for October 19th. You may be excused. 2017-267, State of Arkansas versus Joshua Joshua Chambers. Mr. Chambers, you're appearing today for arraignment. I see you've applied to the Public Defender's Office. Court is approving the Public Defender's Office to represent the defendant. The charge against you, Mr. Chambers, is a charge of rape. On those charges, how do you now plead?
Your Honor, he enters a plea of not guilty.
Plea of not guilty is noted in this case. This case is on the Division 3 docket of Judge Putman. I'm setting it down for reappearance on July 20th. in front of Judge Putman to get on Judge Putman's scheduling order. Are any other matters to come before the court?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, there is not today.
All right. You may be excused, sir. Calling 2016-38 State of Arkansas versus Vanessa Hentschel. Ms. Hentschel is before the court today, down for a pretrial hearing today. Is she scheduled for hearing today?
You know, there's no issues that I'm aware of that we can present today. I would inform the court that I attempted a visit with Ms. Hentschel at the jail yesterday. She would not talk to me. There were two female jailers that urged her to cooperate with me, and she still refused to talk to me. I even asked her if she would like to have a different attorney, thinking that might get her to speak, and she said she did. She shook her head no, that she did not. But I'm getting no cooperation out of Ms. Hentschel whatsoever, Your Honor.
Ms. Hentschel, the court would advise you that you are currently scheduled for trial on August 21st. That will be a jury trial on your charges. The court intends for this matter to go to trial. You've received court-appointed attorney through the Public Defender's Office. Mr. Cooper reports to me he's been to see you and that you refused to talk to him. Do you have anything that you want to say to the court in regard to your representation? I take from your silence and your head shake that you do not. The court will simply advise you that the court can't help you in any way if you won't cooperate with the reasonable efforts that have been made to provide you with competent counsel. I have no reason whatsoever, in fact I know to the contrary, to feel that Mr. Cooper is a very competent attorney, and you've been provided with every opportunity to have counsel. If you have some objection to the counsel provided, you need to speak up and let the court know why. The court will assess your problems. Otherwise, I'm just simply advising you that it's the court's intention to have this case go to trial on August 21st as scheduled. And your inaction is your responsibility, no one else's responsibility. So if you want anything else to happen, you will need to take some action. We're giving you every opportunity, and it simply we'll proceed on this at this time. We'll be here on your next appearance in court will be scheduled for August 17th when the court will be here. You may be excused. Court's calling 2016-152, 2016-197, State of Arkansas versus David Engler. Mr. Engler is represented, Mr. Cooper, you're representing Mr. Engler?
Yes, Your Honor. The Public Defender's Office represents Mr. Engler.
And this matter is set for trial again on August 21st. It was down for pretrial hearings today. Are there any issues to be taken up in pretrial hearings today?
Your Honor, there's no issue to be brought up on the pretrial. I would advise the court, as I had stated previously, that we had reserved the right to challenge the psychological evaluation of Dr. Nichols. We have made contact with Dr. Raymond Molden, who we are hiring privately through the Public Defender Commission to obtain a second opinion concerning Mr. Engler. At this point, I'm not asking for any sort of continuance. I anticipate and hope that we can have that second opinion prior to any court dates.
Okay. Our next court date is next Thursday. That's the plea deadline hearing. With the notice on that, however, first of all, the doctor, it's Dr. Raymond Molden.
Molden, M-O-L-D-E-N.
And is he scheduled to come here and to see Mr. Engler?
Your Honor, I think he will need to be, it's my understanding he will need to be transported to Little Rock.
I guess we need to get with the sheriff's office and make arrangements on that.
Yes.
And, all right. Can you, if you're employing this individual, can we get an assessment from him of when the appointment will be? In other words, I just like some information for scheduling so that we can know whether we're actually getting, this case will be ready for trial on August 21st. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the plea deadline that's currently scheduled for July 13th. I'm going to change this plea deadline to August 17th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And that's just a change in scheduling. I know it's but what I'd like to know is that Dr. Molden feels that he can get the client assessed and get a report to the defense that the defense can share through discovery with the state prior to that August 17th date. That we may be having to have a hearing on that day.
That's correct, Your Honor.
It seems to me that July 13th is too soon to expect him to get his assessment done and have a hearing. So we will schedule the hearing right now for August 17th. I'm going to hold on to the August 21st trial date. That's the week of August 21st trial date until we see what's going to be necessary to resolve the issue of the competency hearing.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Is it just the competency that's at issue? Or is it both? That?
Your Honor, at this point, I would reserve both issues.
Okay. Very good. All right. Well, let's see if we can't get that done. Make progress on that. Keep the court informed, and we'll adjust the schedule as we need to. Court's calling 2017-200 State of Arkansas versus Garrett Hawes. Has Mr. Hawes been formally arraigned? See him on.
Your Honor, I believe he has been, but if we need to.
Yes, he was. He was arraigned back on May 18th, entered a plea of not guilty, ordered to appear before Judge Putman to obtain a scheduling order in Division III docket. Case was transferred to Division III of Judge Putman. I think that's because he has other cases on Judge Putman's docket. That's what I remember. So he's been arraigned and entered a plea of not guilty on this case. Okay.
Your Honor, given that there is a revocation, I believe it's on Judge Putman's docket. there is no action to take today in Mr. Hawes' case.
But his case has been completely transferred to Division 3 at this point, so.
I would advise Mr. Hawes that Mr. Bailey is on vacation and he will be down to see you, Mr. Hawes, next week.
Okay. So I'm going to set Mr. Hawes down to reappear on July 20th in front of Judge Putnam.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. That'd be your next court date is July 20th. You may be excused. 2017-208, State of Arkansas versus Jessie Bowman. This is on a reappearance. There's also a civil forfeiture that is going with this in civil case 2017-164. This date, July 6th, is set down for a review hearing to determine the status of the case. Have we got discovery completed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge.
And any issues at this point?
No, Your Honor, the state's made a plea offer. I think discovery's completed, so from our standpoint, we're sort of waiting on a response.
All right. Mr. Bowman, your case is moving forward in accordance with the scheduling order at this time. Are there any other matters to be brought up? There's a pretrial hearing scheduled on August 17th, and then a plea deadline hearing on October 19th with a jury trial scheduled for October 23rd. That's the schedule according to the scheduling order. Any other matters to come before the court today?
No,
Your
Your Honor.
Honor, from the defense standpoint, we are trying to get Mr. Bowman into John 3:16. Jesse, there is a number that I left with the jailer this morning for you to call, and they will screen you over the phone. You are to get that number from Chris at the jail. I left it with him this morning, okay?
All right.
That's all, Your Honor.
All right. You may be excused, sir. Court is calling 2017-234 State of Arkansas versus Michael Roy Thompson. Mr. Thompson, have you made application for a public defender or any arrangements to have an attorney represent you?
No, sir.
Huh?
No, sir.
All right. Well, court will advise you, you have a right to an attorney. That's an absolute constitutional right you have. The way you secure an attorney is you take action to hire the attorney of your choice. And that's entirely left up to you. The court doesn't get involved. It's your job to hire the attorney you want to represent you. If in the process of hiring an attorney you discover that you cannot afford to hire an attorney, you're still entitled to an attorney. At that point, the court's in a position to appoint counsel for you. The way you get appointed counsel is you fill out an application. The applications are there available at the Baxter County Jail Detention Facility. You can get a copy of that application, fill it out, and turn it in. If you haven't done that already, then you need to do that today for sure, so that we can get the process started. The court is so that's how you're going to get an attorney in this matter. The court has the charges before this court in this are one count of aggravated assault, which is a D felony, terroristic threatening, which is a D felony, domestic battery, which is an A misdemeanor, criminal mischief, which is an A misdemeanor, interference with emergency communication in the first degree, an A misdemeanor, endangering welfare of a minor, that's an A misdemeanor, second count of endangering welfare of a minor, and a third count of endangering welfare of a minor, all Class A misdemeanors. A total of 8 counts have been filed against you. On those charges, how do you now plead?
Not guilty.
I'm noting your plea of not guilty and directing you to make arrangements to secure an attorney. If that means applying for the public defender's office, I'm directing you to get it done today so that we can get that process started. It doesn't happen automatically. And this case is on the Division 4 docket. The events allegedly arose on your case on or about June 3rd of 2017. And a formal information was filed against you on June 5th, 2017. This court is going to, having arranged you here today, the court is going to set your next appearance date for October 19th. That'll be for you to appear in this court. But I don't want you to wait till October to get arrangements made for an attorney. I want you to have that done here this week or as soon as it can be accomplished. So if you're applying to the public defender's office, you need to fill that out today. Your next appearance after that will be November 16th. And then after that, we have a January, that November 16th is a pretrial date. And after that, we'll have a January 18th plea deadline date with a jury trial scheduled during the week of January 29th of 2018. All of those dates will be set in writing by a scheduling order that the court will enter on this matter. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right. You may be excused. 2017-260, State of Arkansas versus Jerry Brown. Are you Jerry Brown?
Yes, sir.
All right. Today's date is an initial review date. I think it's to check on the attorney status of Mr. Brown. Have you made arrangements for an attorney?
He has, Your Honor. He's our office has been appointed to represent Mr. Brown. I visited with him this morning.
All right.
I don't know that he's been placed on your scheduling order yet, Judge.
Yes, we've entered a scheduling order. I'll have to scan through here. He was arraigned on June 29th. Entered a plea of not guilty by Judge Putman. And we are setting, yesterday we entered a scheduling order. That scheduling order puts him down for the following schedule. He's to appear on October 19th. That's his next status hearing in terms of his case. November 16th is set as the pretrial date. He has a plea deadline hearing on January 18th, and his trial is scheduled during the week of January 29th of 2018. All of those are dates that are set by scheduling order in this case. Any other matters to come before the court?
Your Honor, there is not today. Apparently there is a revocation that is pending. Mr. Slater is his probation officer, and he's on vacation this week. But until we get that matter cleared up, then bond is not an issue today.
All right. Do we need to schedule that, or is it not on my docket?
It's on your docket. Well, I don't know about the
The
revocation.
revocation will be on your docket, Your Honor. I don't believe that he's been served with a warrant shot.
Okay. Well, then why don't we put him, can we get that done on July 13th?
Sure.
I'm gonna put Mr. Brown down to reappear before me on July 13th, if to do nothing else than to arraign him on the revocation and get a scheduling order in place on the revocation that goes along with the revocation that we've done. I mean, the scheduling order we've done already. Let's get that part done on a week from today. Okay, so your next appearance before me will be on July 13th. You may be excused.
Thank you.